Kennon Williams of Kennon Williams Landscape Studio. I was on a earlier charrette, which is a design meeting that happened, I think, in 2018, I believe, maybe 17, several years ago, where we're working on, much of Provenance had already been built, but we were working on upgrading and reviewing and enhancing some of the existing landscape, and then working particularly on some other phases. That was with a whole design group, architects and landscape architects and planners. My background is have 2 degrees from the University of Virginia. I was sort of boring. I went to the same place twice in a row, but an undergraduate in studio art and something called political and social thought, which really prepared me for my later degree in landscape architecture, thinking about history and architecture and aesthetics and how they come together with nature. And that's what really caused me to go into that field, which is, it's such an important issue now. How are we living with the natural world? How are we living together? And that's one reason I'm so interested in this community, because this is a new urbanist community, which it is a healthy and sane way to live in a world that isn't so sane often overly sped up, big highways, sprawl, and then you have these beautiful communities, some of them older, that are walkable. These great cities where I come from in Charlottesville, Virginia, we have these wonderful cities like old sections of Richmond, Washington, Philadelphia, that are just beautiful to walk in. It's just a real pleasure to walk in them, and places like Provenance are creating that again, but in a more regional style. And I really want to support that. That's particularly why I have an interest in this place, because it's creating a healthy and beautiful environment to live in. And I think if we think about what is Provenance, it's a walkable community, and that's so important, is that it's a way that community is maintained through walking and interacting, and a lot of that happens outside in these green spaces. So for me, as a landscape architect, I know how important these green spaces are for building community and also being connected to nature. Being able to have destinations and different places within the community, it also gives identity to each neighborhood. Over here you might have the community garden. Over there you've got, say, Magnolia Park, which has the magnolias. Over there might be another place where you can sit beside a fountain. We all feel different on different days, and some days, the weather's different. So some days you may want to go to the shady park in the middle of the summer where there's a cooling fountain and sit there. But in the middle of the winter, when it's a little bit cool, say it's 40 degrees, you want to go sit in a more open park, or go, toss a frisbee with your children or whatever it is. So to have this diversity of experience is key and really make a community work.